hard to believe. We've been singing their songs for 40 years.
I think we were on the right path, and it's now the flowers being awarded, because when you look around in concert, you can see how powerful the group is.
Now, it's clearly been a successful run, but it hasn't always been smooth sailing.
I feel like we're always reaching, for this mountaintop to a certain extent. And finally, I think we're beginning to get some of the stuff that we deserve as far as being in this music industry is concerned.
Michael Bivins and Ronnie Devoe from the legendary group New Edition, now on The Pulse. Guys, welcome to The Pulse. You know what we do each and every week, bringing people together, and I'm not even going to front. When I was younger, acknowledging how much guys loved New Edition, that it wasn't as cool. But now I'm a grown man. I can step out and say I've been a New Edition fan my entire life. So the fellas being on, Michael Bivins, Ronnie Devoe, join us on The Pulse. Hey guys, how are you?
What's going on, man?
Good morning, man.
See you. Good morning.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's funny. The guys used to hold up the walls and check for the ladies at our concerts and mean mug us, but now they're in the aisles dancing probably even harder than the ladies in their 40s and 50s right now, man. So we appreciate the welcome for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't even lie. I was at RBRM and I was right there in the aisles going, look, I'm grown now. I don't have to play games with that anymore. Acknowledging quickly, I appreciate y'all stopping to do this. Mike, you're in the pet store?
Yes. I got 2 little boys. I have 4 daughters, and I tried 4 times. So my daughters wanted puppies. So we got 2 brothers, and they look like they need some elbow space. So today I'm buying them. They're going to have their own little cages. So, yes, I'm in the pet store. And look like we have some bird stuff behind us. So we're doing a nature call. This is a New Edition nature call. This is nature life right here.
Yeah, now we're all officially grown men. Like, we're going ahead and acknowledging all that. Guys, it's hard to believe. It's 40 years, right? 40 years since Candy Girl. Ronnie, let's start with you. What does that feel like? Like that kind of longevity, that kind of success?
Oh, man, I think of a word that Ricky talks about all the time, and it's gratitude. To be able to do something that you love to do for the extended period of time that we have, 40 years, those New Edition for lifers that have been propping us up and speaking life into us and supporting us and praying for us. It's all a culmination, I believe, when people ask what is the one thing that you feel like allows you guys to stand the test of time is putting in work, right? Like 1978, this group got together, right? I got introduced to the group in 1980. And not a week went by where we didn't practice at least 5 times, for 2 hours a day. And I think that preparation that we put in before the light was shined on us allowed us to be prepared for the opportunity to last, as long as it has. And those Any for lifers, man, like we definitely owe a lot of our career to them.
Mike, you ever expect something like this? I mean, you guys were kids when you started doing this. And now, as we said, we're all grown men.
What I expected was that we were going to have on suits singing to 14-year-old girls. And we didn't realize dressing like that makes all of our older pictures look like we was clean and fly the whole time, because our uniform was a $1,500 suit. So I think our style made the parents of our fans get into us just by the way we were dressed. So now when you go to the show, it's not just the Candy Girl, it's her mother who's there as well. And if the Candy Girl has a daughter, her daughter's there. So it's different generations. But I think Candy Girl, the record was so clean and our music was so clean that it widened our audience. And it feels good that when we see the 9 and 10 and 12-year-olds that saw the movie come to the show, the reason they can come to a New Edition show, because all of the real New Edition classics are pretty much clean music, which is really hard to find today. So yeah, I think we were on the right path, and it's now the flowers being awarded, because when you look around in concert, you can see how powerful the group is. It's a group for all ages.
It's interesting you mentioned the movie, because as I acknowledged, like a fan for most of my adult life, and then you see that movie and realize how little you didn't know.
Why would he do that to us?
You didn't read your contract. Welcome to the music business.
I don't think you understand. There was no more money.
License and registration.
You gotta pull it back some, man.
Mr. Telephone Man, something wrong.
Are you gonna stick with Bobby Brown? You're gonna be back in Roxbury, a bunch of broke has-beens.
Do 60 dates throughout the country. I'm sorry, I almost forgot.
What's up?
Bobby's gonna be joining you on the tour.
The champ is here. Y'all ready to do this?
Do what, Bob? Show's over.
I don't know. Did that change things? That people now know what was going on behind the scenes. They have a kind of a closer look at some of the challenges and struggles that you guys were dealing with.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, people knew that Bobby was quote unquote kicked out of the group, but they didn't understand the backstory. And we came out in a time and an era where there was no social media. So it wasn't about airing your dirty laundry to get more likes or whatever that was. You swept everything under the rug, or you put it in the closet and closed and locked the door. And I think that was the thing that allowed us to have over 30 million people watch that story, because they didn't know the backstory of New Edition. It was like, in the last 40 years, there have been so many different things that have happened in our lives, especially all the way up to that Home Again tour, which was probably the most trying time of our career, that people wanted to really just be able to have that open window and visual into. So, and the kids that played us in that first episode allowed us, like Mike said, to be able to gravitate to a whole new generation.
Your name ain't just who you are, it's what you're all about. They know Jackson 5, they know the Temptations. They're about to know about the New Edition. Say it.
New Edition.
Again.
New Edition.
We've been through some things, man, and it feels good to know that, the Temptations had a story that was amazing, right? The Jacksons had a story over 2 days that was amazing. Mm-hmm. And for New Edition to even eclipse that, with 3 days back to back to back, with people watching with their families and their popcorn and their fried chicken wings and all of the above, sitting on the couch, gathered up with everyone watching our story, is just a testament to the underdog nature of this group. We feel like we're always reaching, for this mountaintop to a certain extent. And finally, I think we're beginning to get some of the stuff that we deserve as far as being in this music industry is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, that was a lot that you guys put out there. In hindsight now, are you happy that you did it? Because you guys co-produced that, right? So you had to be open about sharing that information.
If we didn't, bro, right, what would it be? You just said before you asked Ronnie the great question, and that miraculous answer is there's a lot of stuff you didn't know. If we didn't insert that into the movie, then what would you walk away talking about? And to be honest with you, let's just be straight up and keep it funky. Nobody wanted to make the New Edition movie. Okay? When we went and sat down with people, they told us blatantly in our face, and me, Ron, and Ricky were in 90% of the meetings.
That's right.
They said, I'd rather make the Bobby Brown story. So we were fighting against a member in our group in terms of movie interest that we always had to defend the other 5 by saying, but what about us? We have a story too. And that's what makes this story special. You'll learn more watching our story, that it's not just about Bobby and the dramatic things that carried on and went on in his life, but you'll get the inner workings of New Edition. And I think that's why it was so successful, because people was just doing this, scratching their head all 3 nights, and was like, when it was over, the conversation just wasn't about our brother Bobby. The conversation was about everybody.
New Edition is on tour, playing to packed houses, and after 40 years, even they're a little surprised.
I mean, you have access to Beyonce and Anita Baker and Madonna and all these other people, but they're still packing the house for us. So that right there is the thing that kind of keeps us young and keeps us moving for sure.